Welcome back to On Track GP, I'm Jamie Chambers and this is our F1 Veteran Review for 2023. Being one of the most physically and mentally demanding sports in the world, Formula One takes its toll on its competitors. Some drivers only spend part of a single season in Formula One and many are only lucky enough to compete in 1 or 2 seasons. But then, at the other end of the spectrum are the sport's veterans, those that spend upwards of 10 seasons in Formula One. With 6 of the 2023 and 2024 grid having featured in at least 12 seasons of Formula One, those being Perez, Ricciardo, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Hamilton and Alonso, On Track GP will be reviewing the current crop of Formula One veterans and some of their predecessors also. Before this season, Michael Schumacher, Rubens Barrichello, Kimi Raikkonen and Fernando Alonso had all appeared in 19 seasons of Formula One. Here is a brief look at some of the most seasoned veterans of past Formula One eras. Nigel Mansell, 15 seasons. Nigel Mansell stands out among a select few drivers with 15 Formula One seasons, marking a notable career. Debuting in 1980 at the Austrian Grand Prix, he claimed his maiden win in '84. Mansell's pinnacle arrived in '92 when he dominated with Williams to secure the World Championship. After retiring in '92, he briefly joined IndyCar in '93, returning to F1 for 4 races in '94 after the tragic death of Ayrton Senna. His final stint in '95 with McLaren, where he missed the first 2 races because his 5'10", 167-pound frame was too big for the new MP410, ended abruptly after just 2 races due to the car's lack of competitiveness. Other drivers achieving 15 seasons include David Coulthard, Andrea De Cesaris and Felipe Massa. Joachim Bonnier, 16 seasons. Perhaps not one of the better known names of Formula One history, Joachim Bonnier began his career in 1956 Italian Grand Prix with Maserati. The Swede's first win came at the '59 Grand Prix and he went on to drive for Porsche, Brabham, Lotus and McLaren. In '71, Bonnier left the sport. Jack Brabham, 16 seasons. Jack Brabham was another man to notch up 16 seasons as an F1 driver, but drove in 19 more races than Bonnier. The Australian debuted in 1955 and won 3 world championships during his career. His title in '66 was particularly unique given that he became the first and to date only driver to win the championship in a car of his own make. Brabham retired as a driver in '70 and sold the Brabham team afterwards. Riccardo Patrese, 17 seasons. Whilst many drivers with long-lasting careers in Formula One have often left and returned, Riccardo Patrese managed to achieve 17 seasons consecutively between '77 and '93. The Italian won his first race at the 1982 Monaco Grand Prix with the Brabham team and went on to race for the likes of Benetton and Williams. Patrese had his most successful season in F1 in '92 when he finished the championship in 2nd place behind Williams teammate Nigel Mansell. His final season came in '93 and he left the sport with a total of 6 wins behind him. Graham Hill, 18 seasons. Impressively, Graham Hill also racked up his many seasons in F1 with no breaks, having raced between 1958 and '75. During his career, the Briton won 2 world championships and additionally remains the only driver to have achieved the so-called Triple Crown, meaning that he has won the Monaco Grand Prix, the Le Mans 24 Hours and the Indy 500. Sadly, shortly after retiring from the sport as a driver, Hill was killed in a plane crash in '75. His son Damon Hill went on to compete in Formula One and became the '96 world champion. Jenson Button, 18 seasons. Jenson Button debuted in Formula One in 2000 with Williams, marking the start of a successful career filled with highs and lows. His standout achievement came in '09 when he clinched the World Championship with the Brawn GP team in their sole season under that name. Subsequently moving to McLaren, partnering with Lewis Hamilton and the team in contention in 2012, the team's performance gradually declined, notably without a win in 2013 and 14, prompting Button to exit F1 in 16. Retained as McLaren's reserve driver in 17, he raced once for Fernando Alonso but faced a DNF due to a collision, marking the end of his illustrious 18-season F1 career. Michael Schumacher, 19 seasons. For many years, Michael Schumacher held several of the sport's most illustrious records in Formula One. The German achieved 7 world titles and 91 race victories between 1991 and 2006, records that were not challenged until Lewis Hamilton equalled and surpassed them, respectively, during the 2020 season. As well as his obvious success, Schumacher became one of the most experienced drivers in the sport's history. After retiring at the end of 2006, the former Ferrari man made a comeback in 2010 with Mercedes and remained with the team until 2012. Unfortunately, Schumacher was never able to match his previous form, but his return meant that he had completed 19 seasons in Formula One. Rubens Barrichello, 19 seasons. Rubens Barrichello was Michael Schumacher's teammate at Ferrari between 2000 and 2005, during which the Italian squad achieved several world championships and dominated the sport. But Barrichello's career went beyond his Ferrari stint. The Brazilian had debuted on the grid back in '93 and raced for Jordan and Stewart before joining the Scuderia. Despite winning several races at Ferrari, Barrichello remained in the shadow of Schumacher and left to join Honda in 2006. In 2009, the team became Brawn GP and Barrichello won twice before ending the championship in 3rd place. In 2010, the Brazilian joined Williams but decided to retire at the end of an unsuccessful 2011 campaign after 19 seasons. Kimi Räikkönen, 19 seasons. 2021 marked Kimi Räikkönen's 19th season as a Formula One driver. Like Alonso, the Finn made his debut back in 2001 where he raced for the Sauber team. After a stint at McLaren, Räikkönen became the 2007 world champion with Ferrari and spent another 2 years with the Scuderia before walking away from F1 for 2 years. During his hiatus, the Iceman competed in rallying. Räikkönen returned with Lotus in 2012 and rejoined Ferrari in 2014. When he was replaced by Charles Leclerc for the 2019 season, Räikkönen made the move to Alfa Romeo, who were formerly known as the Sauber team, where his career first began. With so many great veterans of the sport already mentioned, let's now take a look at the grid for this year and the current veterans and how they fared this season. To be considered a veteran on this list, drivers must be at least 30 years old and participated in at least 10 seasons. Sergio Perez, 33 years old, 13 seasons. In 2023, Sergio Perez had a disappointing season despite driving one of Formula One's exceptional cars. Winning 2 races in Jeddah and Baku initially put him in contention for the championship, albeit largely due to Verstappen's misfortunes. However, Perez showed resilience by keeping the world champion at bay. Despite his inconsistencies and errors, Perez secured 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix offered a chance to end the season positively, but an incident with Lando Norris led to a penalty, relegating him to 4th place. His post-race remarks also resulted in a reprimand from the stewards. For a veteran driver, Perez's 2023 performance fell short, especially considering the championship caliber of the car he drove. His qualifying was only marginally better than McLaren rookie Oscar Piastri, fewer pole positions than Leclerc, and just 2 victories in an exceptionally dominant car. Perez's season stands out for its underperformance, highlighting a disappointing campaign given the potential of the machinery he was driving. Daniel Ricciardo, 34 years old, 13 seasons. Ricciardo's return to Formula One hasn't showcased his skills as expected, largely due to misfortunes beyond his own control. His crash forced him out, and upon his return, despite a quick AlphaTauri car, luck wasn't always on his side, encountering issues with a stuck tear strip in Abu Dhabi. His return has been inconclusive, marred by external factors. Injuries limited his participation to 7 races instead of 12, compounded by a car damage in Austin and Brazil. Performance-wise, he's been decent, shining in Mexico, but showing average results elsewhere. However, for Ricciardo to justify a move to Red Bull in 2025, he needs to lead the team, which hasn't happened so far. The team's contemplation of moving on from Yuki Tsunoda suggests that Ricciardo needs a standout performance. Breaking even won't sway opinions. A full off-season and a season-long duel against Tsunoda will be decisive. The outcome may lead to one of them, even Liam Lawson, departing the team. Valtteri Bottas, 34 years old, 12 seasons. Bottas seems to hover around 14th place, reflecting his average start and finishing positions, in effect mirroring his team's performance. He consistently lingered below the points line throughout the season, ending where they began. His performance remained steady, scoring when the car allowed, yet never exceeding expectations when facing challenges. Although his qualifying showed promise, it wasn't exceptional. Bottas faced multiple misfortune, including particularly Turn 1 incidents in races like Saudi Arabia and Vegas. These also resulted in damaged floors which hampered the race overall. However, evaluating Bottas proves perplexing. He doesn't stand out enough, raises doubts about his impact, questions arise about his leadership, the team's influence, and comparisons with Hulkenberg's potential. His handling of Zhou and his experience as a 10-time race winner leave unresolved queries, casting uncertainty on Bottas's overall performance. Nico Hulkenberg, 36 years old, 13 seasons. The Hulk remains a persistent force in Formula 1, showcasing his speed in 8 Q3 appearances and an average start place better than several counterparts. Consistently outperforming Magnussen, he seized opportunities, finishing 7th and challenging stronger teams in races like Australia and Austria's changeable conditions sprint. What stands out about Hulkenberg in his transparent driving type is his improvement, even if he was eyeing an Alfa Romeo seat last season. His frustration and determination to enhance performance was evident towards the end of the season, displaying a genuine desire to excel in that car. Günther Steiner's decision to retain him proved partly right. The experienced driver delivered. Both drivers will return next year, but the team needs to both excel in both form and quality of car to be bottom of the grid next year. Lewis Hamilton, 39 years old, 17 seasons. Hamilton showcased a resurgence from the disappointments of the Abu Dhabi 2021 and a lackluster 2022 car, resembling his best form. Yet, with a history of multiple wins and 7 titles, fighting for 5th place and occasional podiums might not ignite his competitive spirit. Despite his vast achievements, a hunger for that extra 10th remains. Amid his revitalisation, some errors crept in, instances like squeezing Piastri in Italy and a risky move in Qatar, resulting in a collision with his teammate, showcased moments of overzealousness. Collisions between the 2 Mercedes cars throughout the season, attributed to team miscommunication, raised questions about a trend not seen in the Mercedes team previously. Although it didn't culminate in an 8th world title, 2023 marked a significant improvement for Hamilton compared to the disastrous 2022 season. His performance often mirrored the erratic W14's car performance, strong at times, lacking at others. The season's finale, where Russell outperformed him, was a rare dent in Hamilton's otherwise dominant season in the Mercedes team, establishing himself as the lead driver with standout races in Spain and the US, showcasing the car's future potential. Fernando Alonso, 42 years old, 20 seasons. Alonso, embarking on his 21st Formula 1 season in 2024, has crafted an extensive career since his debut in 2001 with Minardi. Despite starting with a backmarker team, his talent stood out. Joining Renault in 2003, Alonso's apex arrived with back-to-back world championships in 2005 and 2006. His journey took turns through stints at McLaren, Ferrari and a return to Renault, but subsequent seasons never matched his earlier triumphs. Exiting F1 in 2018, his 2021 and 2022 return with Alpine proved exceptionally challenging. Alonso's move to Aston Martin was immediately evident as a good move for him. Excelling when the car was competitive, his podium finishes were frequent. However, as the car's performance waned, Alonso's true prowess did emerge. Despite the team's declining form, he outperformed teammate Lance Stroll by 132 points, almost single-handedly propelling Aston Martin Team Silverstone to their best constructors finish since 2020. His consistent brilliance amid his team struggles showcases his enduring talent and contribution to Aston Martin's campaign. That is our veteran review for 2023. Who was the standout veteran for you this season? What was your best experienced driver moment? What other drivers do you think will make it to veteran status in the coming seasons? Let us know what you think in the comments, and remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. This has been On Track GP. I've been Jamie Chambers. Keep the pedal to the metal, and I'll catch you in the next video.